Hello everybody. Today we are going to start with cybersecurity. And what is cybersecurity? Now before that we must know what is network security and why it is important. It is important because globally people are using it for business, education, in corporates and in all spheres of day-to-day life. And we have not only become dependent, I won't say dependent, but we are using it as a very essential part of our day-to-day life and seamlessly, and it has become very much seamless because we are doing it with very very less efforts. And it has increased the speed and the efficiency of the work, and it has also reduced on the paperwork involved in it. And and we are working smarter using this cyber and network. So so when you have a potential of violation of security, that you think that your security, the safety of your data and your privacy is at threat, that is the network threat. And when the threat is actually executed, it becomes an attack, and those who execute these attacks and actions, they are called the attackers. Some common threats that average computer user faces every day is the most common is the computer virus, and we all face it. Now, what are computer virus? They are programs. What kind of programs? Malicious programs. Malicious programs means that perform unwanted and harmful actions that cause damage to data files on a system. Viruses can attack any part of the computer software, such as the boot block, operating system areas, files, and application program macros. Two other similar programs also cause virus like effects. They are worms and Trojan horse. Now, what are worms? Worms are self-replicating programs which eats up the entire disk space. So basically they are going to use up your storage space, and it is going to block the storage space, and you will be unable to use that storage space. So this is it is harmful, but it is a little disturbing, because you will realize that in spite of increasing the hard disk and the ROM, you won't be able to get proper performance. The reason is, if there is a worm, then it is replicating, making copies of its own file and keeping it in the storage space and hiding it, because if it is visible, then we will delete all unnecessary files, but it is hidden. A worm keeps on creating its copies until all the disk space and memory is filled. And how it is spread? When you connect to the internet, this worm, one little worm, enters through that internet and then starts replicating itself again. From your computer, it might travel to another computer through a disk or a pen drive, or again network. So in this way the form spreads. Then comes Trojan horses. A Trojan horse is a program that appears harmless, such as text editor or a utility program, but actually performs malicious functions such as deleting or damaging files. Okay, this is actually very harmful. What are the damages caused? Damages or the deletes the file, invades your email program. This is a very important thing to be concerned of, and slow down your computer, obviously, because the worms are eating up your hard disk and RAM space, so you don't have much space for your utility programs to be loaded into the primary memory. Then comes the spyware. What is a spyware? Spyware is a software which is installed on your computer to spy on your activities and report this data to people willing to pay for it. It tracks the user's behavior and reports information back to a central source, and all without your consent. These are used to spy on someone, either legal or illegal purposes. So it can be installed by some investigating body, into the computer of some people that they are trying to investigate, or it can be illegally that people are stealing data from your information, and they don't stalk you, or they are not phishing, but they are going to sell your data. Okay, what which sites you are visiting, or what card number you are putting, or what are the mails, what kinds of mails you are receiving or you're sending. They are all saved in that central server, and people sell these data to the concerned people, like the credit card type. Maybe they won't get the whole credit card number, but they will get that which bank or some information, and that will be bought by some credit card company, and they are going to your phone number, they are going to start calling you up. So these are the different way that businesses are being done. Damages caused: compromise your data and computing habits and identity, alter PC settings, obviously, because it is coming into your computer, it's sneaking into your computer, and it is spying on you without your consent. That means it has been installed somewhere in your computer, and some setting has been changed. That is, your activities are being saved in some file, and that is being transferred, or transferred to that person, all without your consent, and slows down your computer because there are extra programs running behind. Spyware can act like a peeping Tom, or at worst a geeky thief. Okay, geeky thief means credit card and everything is going away, all compromised. Then comes adware. These are the programs that deliver unwanted ads to your computer, generally in the pop-up forms. They consume your network bandwidth, making your connection slow. Adware is similar to spyware, however, it may be installed with your consent. So it is advised that you thoroughly read installation agreements. So this is like a software which is going to give you ads one after the other. Okay, and this usually comes from with some other software. Like I find somewhere this McAfee comes along with some other software that I want to install. Now by default it is going to install it, so you have to read the settings very carefully, and there will be an option that you want to install McAfee or not. If not, then you please check it off, otherwise it's going to unnecessarily install it, and usually it never gets installed and the entire thing hangs. So you have to be very careful when you download any software or install any software into your computer. What are the damages caused? Adware attacks, which is disturbing, displays arrays of annoying advertisements and slows down your computer. Then comes spamming. Spamming refers to the sending of bulk mail by an identified or unidentified source. In non-malicious form, bulk advertising mail is sent to many accounts. In malicious form, that is the harmful ones, email bombing. Okay, the attackers keep on sending bulk mail until the mail server runs out of disk. Damages: reduces productivity, can lead to worse things, and eats up your time. Now the spam, actually they also contain some emails which will give you lucrative links. You won this lucky draw, this much money, click on this to redeem your rewards, and this and that. But they actually, when you click on them, that triggers the installation of some malicious software in the background. So you should be very, very careful before you open an email that is from an unidentified sender, or you can open and definitely see what is there, but never click on any link. Then comes PC intrusion. Every PC or personal computer connected to the internet is a potential target for hackers. Now this is important, it has to be connected to the internet, because it's other instructions and this exchange of data with the server that takes place through internet. So if your one is a standalone computer, you have less potential of getting attacked by an computer virus. But if you are using, disk, CD, pen drives, brought by others or unknown people, it is going to get installed in your computer and it is going to hang your computer. The harm will be less, but it will reduce on the performance of your computer. Computers under constant attack from the cyber vandals. PC intrusions can occur in any form. Sweeper attack, it is another malicious program by hackers. It sweeps all data, it deletes all data. Denial of services, okay, it eats up all the resources of a system, and the system or application come to a halt. For example of such an attack is flooding the system with junk mail. Password guessing, most hackers crack or guess passwords of a system account and gain entry into the remote computer system, and then they use it for causing damages. Then comes snooping, opening and looking into files, just imagine, in the unauthorized manner and read the content. It can be confidential matter, but that will be read by the software and it can be sent out and sold. Eavesdropping, is similar to snooping, but this is listening to your conversation. So all that calls and it is not going to read anything. It is going to take all data of communication like email, login ID, password, credit card, and vice versa, all these things. Then comes phishing. Phishing is all these criminal fraudulency connected to money. Okay, so like online banking, user ID, password, credit card, debit card information. In phishing, an imposter uses an authentic looking email or website to trick recipients into giving out sensitive personal information. So you may receive an email from appearing to be from your bank to update your KYC or update your some bank details, something, and it actually takes all data from you. So what are the cyber security measures? The combination of identification, authentication, and authorization can control access to a system. This combination is very useful, especially in network security. Various techniques are there. Number one, authorization is asking the user a legal login ID performs authorization. If the user is able to provide a legal login ID, then he or she is considered to be an authorized user. So what the service providers are doing, the genuine service providers, that they use this method, identification, authentication, and authorization, is a combination. Like if you are using online banking, your authorization, your identification is you are giving the correct login ID. Okay, then comes authorization. Then comes authentication. Authentication is the password protection. So if you give the password, that means you are authenticated to access, you're an authentic user to access the account, and authorization is giving access to it. Then comes firewall. Firewall, it is a system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. A system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network is called the firewall. Firewalls are mechanisms to prevent unauthorized internet users from accessing private networks. Then come intrusion detection. Intrusion detection is the art and science of sensing when a system or network is being inappropriately used or without authorization it is being used. An intrusion detection system, IDS, monitors system and network resources and activities. Using information gathered from these sources, notifies the authorities when it identifies a possible intrusion. So these are all program written, and these programs, they actually, what happens is the IP address accessing it, or the files that are running in the background, that those are scanned by the antivirus, and the extension of the files actually makes it possible for these systems, intrusion detection systems, to identify the potential threat. Now, what are the preventive measures? How can you prevent it? Okay, you can a security policy is a formal statement of rules that people who are given access to an authorizations, technology and information access must abide. The policy communicates the security goals to all the users. Okay, the security policy must be able to enforce with security tools, clearly define the areas of responsibility for the users and administrators, and be flexible for the changing in the environment of a network, since it is a living document. So there are some rules that should be abide by the service providers and those who control them, and obviously those who are using it, that is you. Okay, then using proper file access permissions, read permission, write permission, execute permission. So sometimes it is always good when you install a new software, you always run it as an administrator, so that you have systems, no, administrator, user, you have users in the computer. So this administrator is in the most most secured user of the computer. And so when a system is when a software is installed in the administrator mode, more checking and more checking is done as to what kind of softwares and files are getting installed in the computer. Disconnect from the internet when away. This is very important. Now when you are in front of the computer, you can see what is happening. Suppose you have a good knowledge of all that happens in the computer, so when you are there, you can have you have your eyes on it. But when you're away, you can try to keep it off, so that in your absence nothing happens. Never click on a link you received on your email. So this is for the spam. Okay, this is basically speaking of the spam. Okay, this I already spoke to you. So we'll keep it till here. It's a lot of theory to go together. Maybe tomorrow we will do a little more. Thank you.